So I was able to actually book and close a successful pilot worth 35,000 within around, I think, the first 30 days or so. So I had booked in and had more conversations that I've had in the last 3 months within that month, and I've had a successful pilot close in the fastest time that I've ever had with all the other methods that I've had. So
Oh, Luca. So today we're gonna explore your journey, right? See how you got to where you are today. And then hopefully some other people can take inspiration and learn from what you've done. So cool. I believe you started about 45 days ago, roughly, give or take. Give us the idea. What were you at? Where were you at before you started with us, and where are you at now?
So when I started with you guys, I was struggling a lot with outreach, specifically outbound. I was working hard on trying to get outbound systems working for me in within LinkedIn. I had tried cold calling. I had tried um, a little bit of email, but just doing it myself manually, just trying to target people specifically that way. But I was just getting absolutely nowhere. I think it took me around 3 months to book in 2 appointments. Um, so I was very frustrated at that point, and I started looking around, and then I came across your LinkedIn post where you were mentioning that you had built out Orza. We connected right away, and immediately this kind of spoke to me because in one of the previous years, or like I would probably say last year or so, I had received a similar kind of outreach message where it was a Loom video with my website, and it just immediately made me press on it, and I watched it, and I actually booked in a call with the person, but it didn't really work out. But at that moment, that was one of the things that I remembered, like, "Oh, wow, this is actually really nice how, he created this Loom video for me." It made me interested into actually have a look at what they were offering. So when I saw that you were doing that at scale, I was like, "Oh, I need to have a talk with Jesse. This could be interesting." Um, so that's kind of how it started and where I kind of came from.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. And I guess in the past 3 5 days, what have the results been?
I would say because my niche is very saturated, I mostly just work with lawyers, and they just get spammed a lot. We did the first run. I've had a couple of good replies, but in the game where I'm in, if you're able to book one appointment, which turns into a client, the LTV on it is quite large. So I was able to actually book and close a successful pilot worth 35,000 within around, I think, the first 30 days or so. So I had booked in and had more conversations that I've had in the last 3 months within that month, and I've had a successful pilot close in the fastest time that I've ever had with all the other methods that I've had. So it was really great. And the one thing that she mentioned on call, which was nice to hear, she was like, "Yeah, the reason we actually hopped on is because you made a video, which you know we had seen before, and kind of wanted to hear a little bit more about you, and it was nice to kind of get something a little bit more personal." Basically, so that's kind of what she kind of came across as. So yeah, and that client is probably one of my better clients that I've ever actually worked with so far. And it's going quite well actually, and they're looking to scale their campaigns out. So that one pilot could turn into like a six-figure per month deal. So I'm very excited for that.
Beautiful. That's amazing. How much is it worth right now a month?
Right now we're just starting the pilot now, so it's 35 for the pilot, but they're looking to scale nationwide. So we run media and we run ads. So that's for us like a great signal. They've got coverage in all 50 states, so it's like the cream de la cream for the type of client that I'd like to have. So yeah, it could quickly turn into a six-figure a month deal essentially.
Beautiful. So this one client could get you to 7 figures a year.
Yes, correct. Yeah, yeah,
That's
absolutely.
amazing. Got you. Okay. And dive more into who do you target exactly?
So I target specifically law firms who are focusing on personal injury within motor vehicle accidents across the states. So it's quite niche, and I only kind of target that specific group of lawyers just because the LTV is very high and the demand is very high as well. And the ticket sizes, like once you do well with them, they become a client for life almost because yeah, why would they turn off the money printer if
Right.
you can get them cases consistently? So it's just a nice avenue once you've cracked it.
I love it. Okay. And I'm curious, what made you start any business in the first place?
Well, actually, my first business. I'm now 29. And I actually started my first business when I was 19, so I've been in the game for 10 years now. Completely different. It was a brick and mortar business. I was making pizzas. So completely different to what this is now, but I've always been on the digital side, always doing branding, always doing marketing, always, getting my digital side of things going myself, which I always enjoyed. Um, and over the years, I've done multiple things that kind of led me to lead generation because it was the one thing that I'd always struggled myself with. And it was the one thing that everyone always asked help for. So I thought, okay, why not just pivot completely then to lead generation and focusing on client acquisition for people that I work with. So I'd done that for a few other things. I started off doing it for real estate, which was really successful. I did that for around 8 years, and then recently I've switched over doing just specifically lawyers, just because of what I mentioned before.
Amazing. Gotcha. I'm curious too, majority of people when they get into business, they don't last more than 2, 3 years. You've been at it for quite a long time. What do you think is the
Correct.
difference between your mindset and somebody else's?
Perseverance, not
Yep.
taking no for an answer. That's also why one of my businesses is called No Brands because it's easy to get a yes, but
Yeah.
the good things come when you say no, and that means saying no when when you're tired, saying no to, your emotions and just kind of pushing through everything and just kind of, putting on that grind mode as they like to say because
Yeah.
eventually it just gets easier and you also start enjoying the process because that's also a big part is actually enjoying the journey because if you enjoy the journey the outcome will come and you just have to have absolute certainty in your own ability. And if there is a missing gap, then you know exactly where to look. And then you know that you're developing your skills. And over time, you start to become, yeah, the version of yourself that you need to actually be in the position you want to be within business.
Interesting. Gotcha. And I'm also curious now then, so you've had some early success. What does it look like going down the road? What's the plan?
Scaling out the agency, so focusing specifically on lead generation, but I'm now working on combining a lot of the AI systems that are out there and kind of closing the loop. So a few years ago, I had started an AI agency where I was doing voice agents. I was one of the first. I was very early on it, and it was very hard to sell. Um, and the one thing that I had noticed at that moment was that everyone who I spoke to for voice agents, the one thing they always asked was, "Yeah, but can this get me more clients?" I said, "No, this is for people who have good lead flow. So you need to have, you know, lots of leads for this to actually make sense for you." And that's when I started to realize, okay, so if everyone's having this problem, let me pivot myself and focus and learn the skills to do media buying. Let me focus on actually learning how to generate leads for multiple different industries and, get really good at that, comfortable with that. And then I'll bring back the entire AI system and all the knowledge that I learned from there and then bundle it together into a full system. So where, we help you set up your ads, we do your media buying, and then as well, we'll actually be able to implement all the systems that we had before, which is the inbound voice agents, the acquisition systems that actually convert those leads from, traffic to booked appointments and kind of helping, agencies, businesses, local businesses to actually, streamline the entire process from acquisition to booked appointments and helping them on the front side of things.
I'm really curious then as well. Like you said, the lawyer niche is one of the hardest niches in the world. And it's even harder for you
Correct.
because you're extra specific. You're on motor vehicles, right? So I guess how have you been able to make it work when I could name 10 people off the top of my head that just gave up on the lawyer niche and niche shop?
I mean, there were moments that I also wanted to give up. I'm like, "What am I doing? I have no idea what
Right.
I'm talking about. I don't know how to do the sales on this. I don't know the jargon." But, we have Claude now. We have Orza. We can look at latent conditions. We can look at the psychology. We can look at the words that people are using. We can look at Reddit. We can see where the problems are. And, you can do a lot of research. And if you spend 20 hours or so researching into a topic and, trying to meet other people who are doing the same. So I reached out to a lot of lead gen agencies and ask them questions like, "Hey, how are you guys, managing that? How are you guys doing the sales on this? Is there any pointers, anything that maybe I can help in return?" Or I've even booked a few guys for like an hour and just rip them with a bunch of questions, and then you start to learn, you start to understand things, you make some connections in the industry, you start to meet the players who are working there. And then yeah, you start making partnerships and you start kind of collaborating on things. So it's quite nice. So I think that's probably the one thing that you really need to do is just you really need to go fully immersed into something so you can really learn it. And AI helps a ton with that. So that's probably how I think I just stayed long enough in the game to just be relevant, I guess, and to be seen. Because like I said,
Gotcha.
it takes a long time before you start getting appointments, but once you do, you only need a few clients to make it work. So it's kind of all worth it.
100%. I love that. You know, I'm curious then too, like after joining with us, how do you feel about the workload? Was it like, oh my gosh, this was too much work, or do you feel like it was in a good spot for you? How do you feel?
For me, um, I think there was a hurdle in the beginning for me because
Mhm.
cold email was something that I'd never really done. So I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna have to set up all these email boxes and all this complexity and all this stuff." But in the end, it's actually quite easy. It's not
Mm.
it's not that hard. And you just have to sit down, you have to you really made it easy with all your SOPs and your videos, everything's super clear. It's like, if you can make a Lego set, then you'll get through it. Just follow the instructions that you preach. So in the end, it probably took me maybe 2 weeks to get everything set up and understand how the whole system works, and that also includes all of the material that you had, given in the course, also, like, more the psychological material that you kind of break down and the buyer psychology, which was really nice. I like how you really, you know, dive deep into the buyer psychology because that's something that I really like enjoy myself as well. So you're one of the few people that have gone that in depth where I was like, oh, actually learning some really interesting things that I had never thought about, and it completely changed the way I also think about certain things within the business world. And even after 10 years, you still learn a lot. It's always nice to keep your mind open.
Beautiful. Gotcha. Then I'm curious too. Then I imagine you've probably you've been in the game for a while, right? You probably bought some other programs, worked with other people.
A lot.
What is the biggest, right?
Yeah.
What is the biggest difference between us and that?
I think the one-on-one. So even though you've set it up in a way where you kind of you guide me through the process. I always felt like you were just a call away. I could just book you on Google Meet. We could sit down for an hour. I could ask you all my questions, and I would just come prepared, and I just run everything through you. And I really enjoyed that you were the person I spoke to in the beginning, and you're also the guy who's there while I'm going through things instead of someone who is just fulfilling for you, where it feels like sometimes they're just doing a job. And with you, I could feel your passion because you're, the founder of your company. You've built this software. I can really feel like you know your things, and it just makes it more enjoyable, the whole process as well. It feels like you're also by my side. So that was really, I think, really nice. And I've had a lot of, I think I've spent over like 50, maybe 60,000 euros in courses and different kind of things and masterminds and all these kind of things. But I think with you, it felt really tailored, and it felt like someone was there with me, kind of going through everything step by step. And I think that's probably one of the things that stood out the most as well. Like when we first had the first call, that's the way you kind of phrase it out. I was like, okay, this is something that I'd like to work with Jesse, just because you seem like you really were very knowledgeable about what you were doing, pushing the cutting edge, building software. Um, and I was like, okay, yeah, I want to spend more time with you. I want to learn more. So kind of
Dude, I
it's
gotta
like it's a
fly
no
out,
brainer.
man.
Yeah, man, for
Yeah, I
sure, a
gotta
full
fly
hundred
out.
percent, 100%.
But dude, thank you for that. I really appreciate that. It means the world, and that's my entire goal. But I guess on the complete opposite of that, like, what were you skeptical about? What was going through your brain before you worked with us?
I think I'm usually a person who follows their gut, and with you, I had a good feeling, and I think I was more skeptical about my own ability, I would say. So I was like, is this going to work for me specifically? But the way you were always on call, you really kind of helped me get over that. Because there were moments that I was like, what am I doing? Like, is this even going to work for what I'm doing? Like, I'm sure lawyers have been smashed with emails like constantly. But you were so confident in your own system and in your own results that I was like, okay, no, like I need to lock in and just do it and just get over this kind of like fear that I was having in my mind. So I think the only fear that I have was self-imposed. I didn't really have any skepticism with you because yeah, I mean, I think you just came over as a really sober guy and you're like, no, we're gonna make this work because this is something that's quite nuanced, in the sense that not many people are receiving like Loom videos at scale. So from hearing that, I was like, yeah, it makes sense. So I guess I was a little bit skeptical just for the application of my niche. So
Mm,
that's I think
I
the
see.
only thing that was like holding me back. But I was like, look, if you don't, if you try to do the same things and you expect different results, I mean, that's the definition of crazy. So I was like, I got to do something different. So
Yeah,
that was the
100%.
one thing that stood out. I was okay. Well, this is something new. This is something I haven't seen. Many of the people that I work with in the lead gen space, I know that they aren't doing this as well. So I was like, okay, this is something completely different for what I'm for my kind of my industry. So I thought, let's give it a try, and it worked out really great. And I'm looking forward to doing a second batch as well. I've been so busy with other things. I've also started ads as well on the side. So because that was something that was still pending for ourselves. We wanted to see if we could do some outreach a little bit more in the beginning, and then as we start getting in some clients, then to start scaling. So that's where we're at right now. Where we've got around 5, 6 pilots that have been completed, two of them that have retained. Now we've got the third one that we're about to work on, and that gives us enough leeway to actually boost some ads because the cost per acquisition for lawyers in this space is heavy, so you need to be able
Yeah,
to stomach the ad spend. So I didn't really want to start with that in the beginning, especially wanted to kind of like exhaust all my other options. So the cold calling, the cold email, the LinkedIn. I wanted to just kind of dive through that first. Also to get an idea of the people I'm speaking to understand how I can actually make ads towards them and understand their language before I start spending, hundreds of dollars, maybe thousands of dollars a month on not understanding how my buying persona actually wants to be spoken to. So I learned a lot. I had a lot of conversations on LinkedIn that went nowhere because they can sniff it out. I mean, they're lawyers in the end of the day. So if you don't know your stuff and you don't come across as knowledgeable in the space, they just cut you out right away.
100%. And I feel like that's something that people figure out really late. Like taking the time not to they worry about themselves and their business so much and not worrying about the people they're actually serving, right?
Exactly.
And most people get that wrong. And I get my next question for you would be like whether someone's starting off like when you were starting back when you were 19, or whether they're just starting when you just started to target lawyers. If you had to give them one piece of advice to help them as much as possible for somebody watching, what would it be?
I would say the one piece of advice that I should have listened to myself a lot earlier is focus on one thing and do it super, super good. Don't get don't go niche hopping. Don't go looking at the nice shiny object across the room because there's
Yeah,
too much of that. Try to stack on skills that that'll help you towards something that you want to become. So for me, in the beginning, I always knew that I wanted to do something with sales, and I'm a very performance based person. So everything that I've built towards since I was 19 was always for performance. So I had a real estate agency for 9 years. Uh, no cure, no pay. So, for me, it's very normal for me to always constantly be chasing after my commission, running after that. So I was like, okay, how can I make myself better in the goal that I want to be, which is be better at sales. Okay, well then what's important for sales digitally, being able to build good funnels, being able to, create good content, copywriting skills. And you start looking at your overall goal of where you want to be and the person you want to become, and you work towards that one step at a time with one niche at a time. And then
100%.
once you've really honed that in, you can start going vertical on other things if it makes sense. But usually having one good offer, one good niche, and a good set of skills that makes you fulfill those offers, that's basically all you really need. So whatever you want to do, just hone in on that and just, focus on one thing. It just makes it so much easier. There's too many variables if you try to do too many things at once.
I see, gotcha. And, I'm really curious about the skills part there too, because the skills that you've gotten over however many years, right? It's allowed you to start this thing, get it to multi five figures a month, sign a five-figure a month client pretty quickly. When it comes to acquiring skills, a lot of people are just trying to figure it out themselves. What's the difference between you and that?
Time. Yeah, I've been doing it for a while. You bring
Mm,
everything from the beginning. You start something. From me starting something 10 years ago, there's always something that you bring along to the next project. You know,
mm,
whether it's your failures, whether it's your wins, and you bring all that with a new flavor to everything that you do. So every time you start something new, you're like, oh, that I remember that was similar to what I did 5 years ago, and I'm able to adapt and kind of morph with the new target persona. Or I think it's also really curiosity. In the end of the
mm.
day, I've spent so many hours researching, looking things up, watching YouTube courses, buying courses, speaking to people, trying to surround myself with, people who are also, looking to do the same kind of thing. I think it's just staying curious, because the moment you lose curiosity, it also doesn't become fun anymore. So if you can stay curious and you can keep asking questions and you can keep learning and you enjoy that, then the skills automatically come by themselves. And, sometimes it's fine to just do something for free and not get paid and just, try to meet people and be like, "Hey, how can I bring some value for you?" Like, there's been so many times where I've helped people out, like, "Hey, I can make you a website," or "Let me do this," because it's always different if you actually do something for someone as opposed to just doing it because you watched it on a YouTube video and you're like, "Oh, let me copy what this YouTube video is telling me to do." Like, okay, you want to learn how to make a website? Go make a website for someone else, because
Exactly. Just do it.
it's a lot harder to translate someone else's vision to what they like, and working with them, and you learn how to collaborate with them, you learn, sales, you learn a lot of different skills that happen in one go. And that can be a testimonial for you maybe later. Maybe that can be a couple referrals. If you do a good job, maybe they'll say, "Hey, my friend did a really good job on my website, you should, work with him." And that way you could start breaking into whatever you want to do. So think think with sales, it's also something that's quite easy to start, because you just can find some pretty good offers that you can jump on. And there's some pretty decent things that you can just go work for someone, get on a sales commission, and learn from other guys. um, for me, I learned it all on my own because I was in real estate, so I just started off in that way. So I had thousands of viewings, speaking to thousands of different people. Eventually you start to get quite comfortable with different nationalities, and I come from Amsterdam originally, so it's just a melting pot of different cultures and different people. So I think, yeah, I think there's just a lot of different factors that come into play with that. But curiosity is probably number one that'll keep you going.
So you were
What about you?
curious enough for me on
Yeah.
what what specifically?
Well, what makes you interested to keep growing, I guess.
Mm. Yeah, there's a the dumbest people that think they're the smartest people, and the smartest people always think they're the dumbest people.
Yeah.
So as soon as you admit to yourself that, hey, maybe I don't know everything, then you'll probably get smarter, right? Like
Yep.
I've heard several stories about like, there's these 2 guys had a meeting, I forget who they were, but this guy was doing roughly 7 figures a month, and the kid he was talking to, this guy was, like, late 30s, early 40s, something like that. The kid he was talking to was, like, 22. He was doing about 6 figures, and he asked him for his suggestions on how he runs, ads. And the kid was astonished because he's like, "You've been running ads for decades. Why do you care about my perception?" And then it hit him. He was like, "Oh my gosh, this is why he's so good at what he does. He doesn't care how far he's made it. He always is looking for new information." Right? So I think, that is the big thing that I've noticed, from the smartest people that I've met. They always ask questions regardless of where they're at or who they're talking to, because I think there's value that you can get from a homeless person on the street, right? Uh, and that also makes me, curious about your perspective. You were curious enough to dump 50, 60 grand into coaching and mentorships, right? There's a lot of people that are curious, but their curiosity goes to YouTube videos. What made you invest into yourself?
I always wanted the nomad life. I just wanted to be able to work from my laptop, and that was just my ideal goal. Like it's always
Yeah.
been. I did it for. I've been doing it now for the last 4 years or so. So it's been absolutely
Yeah,
amazing.
what's
I
that
just
like?
got back
Yeah.
from. Bro, it's amazing. I was living 4 years in Thailand on the beach. I had set up my agency for real estate in a way that I had completely automated the entire sales process. I had completely digitized my entire real estate portfolio to work just on virtual viewings. And all I was doing was just pressing a couple buttons on a couple workflows that I'd built out over the years. And I was renting
Yeah.
out hundreds of apartments, like probably doing maybe 150, 160 transactions a year. But unfortunately, the municipality of Amsterdam, they started cracking down on the overall market, and there was all this new regulation that came out. I lost like 70% of the landlords that I worked with. So, they just crushed my business. So that's when I
Right.
started thinking, okay, I need to kind of pivot and do something else. So, I mean,
Wow.
I think in the end, it's just about constantly wanting to develop yourself. And for me, money isn't really the goal, freedom is the goal. So I think that's also been something that's pushed me continuously to A, want to invest in myself, become better, um, also be humble and not be like, hey, I know everything, like you said, and ask questions. And who better to ask the questions than the people who are, working in the specific niche that you're in, or, teaching you a specific skill that you need to learn. I mean, it might not be the best experience. Sometimes you do get, I've had some pretty bad mentorship, I've had some bad coaching, and I've had some really great coaching that have, made up for
But you
all that
still
as
got
well.
more.
Still
You got
got more.
scammed
100%.
and you
A
still got
hundred
more.
percent. 100%. Yeah, I
Wow.
mean, that's just how it goes. You can't always have the good side of the stick. Sometimes you also learn from getting scammed. You're like, okay, I'll make sure that I won't fall for that one again.
Right.
And it's also a bit of a case study to be like, well, how did I get finessed like that? It's like, what kind of copy did he use? What kind of ad creatives did he
He's
make?
doing something
It's,
right,
he just he did
right?
something. He made me want to buy, and I fucking fell for it. So there's something
Yeah.
to be learned there. So I funnel hacked those guys too, and I
Hey,
learned
there you go.
quite a lot about that as well. So, and in the end,
So
it's
you look
just
for the
psychology.
good. Yeah, you
There's
still
always
managed
good
to
in
look for the
everything.
good.
There's always good in everything. It just depends on what side of the coin you want to look at. I mean, there's
100%.
people who are always going to be negative, but there's
Yeah.
always like a light. There's always something that you can kind of take from something, which I think is probably a very good trait to have, is trying to always, like, life's hard enough. The world's hard enough. So if you want to make it harder for yourself and you want to, add a lot of doubt and fear and all these extra emotions, you can do that. Or you can also just look at things in a more light way and just kind of look at things in a better perspective, because there's always another perspective. There's always something good that can come out of something. It just depends if you want to look at it at that way.
Yes. I agree. You know, I'm curious too, you're already at multiple 6 figures a year now, multiple 5 figures a month with this business. What's the long-term goal? You said the goal isn't money, it's freedom, but how big do you really wanna get this?
I mean, now I just enjoy the game. It's
Yeah.
just what else is there to do? Like, might as
Fair
well do
enough.
something that you like. I like sales. I really love the process of 2 things, which is A, helping someone to have a better outcome. Because there's only 2 offers in the world. It's either you make someone money or you save them money. That's about it. So, if you can do one of those things, you can make money for yourself, you can help someone else out, you can build, because a lot of the clients that I've worked with have also become friends over a long period of time. So you just meet more people that are doing the same things as you, and I don't know, it's just what else do you want to do? And for me as well, I really like to spend a lot of time making music in my free time. So for me it's also been
DJ
a
in the
nice,
desert.
yeah, DJing in the desert, making some nice videos,
Yeah.
things like that. So it's something that allows me to do that and allows me as well to make my own schedule. Um, and I just really like making businesses. I just enjoy it. I'm on my fifth business now. A lot of them haven't always been successful. You know, I've had now the pizzeria that's been going good for like 10 years now. That's my first one. The real estate one went well, but you know,
Okay.
sometimes you just don't know where things go. You know, things change, regulations, the market changes. So that one's out. I mean, I still have it, but you know, it's very little work. Now this lead gen thing that I've been getting into, I've only been in it now for around 7 months, and I've seen more results with that than I have with any other business that I've started. And I had a branding agency where I was doing, branding, web design, UI, UX. I had that for around a year. Didn't do too well as well, but I learned a lot from it. And then I had the AI agency, which I was a little bit too early on, and there were a lot of skills that I was still missing that didn't allow me to actually get to the point where I needed to be on that. So, all in all, I've taken all that now and I've poured it into this lead gen industry. But it's been great because in the past I had so much more investment. I needed someone who had to make the website. I needed someone who needed to run the ads. I needed someone who needed to help me with all these things. The only thing, I think my only cost really was actually working with you for this one, because that was the one thing that I was missing. I was like, I need a good outbound system. That's the one thing that I have no idea how to do that and scale that up. I figured out the ads now. I figured out that. So now I was able to basically build all of it myself. And it's so much more fun and it's so much more intuitive. And especially now with Claude, man, I mean, it's absolutely insane what you can do. I've been on anti-gravity for the last 7 months and making websites and systems and, content, everything that you can do with that. It's just opened so many doors. It's also a little bit of a problem because you'll catch yourself at like 5 a.m. staring at a screen.
The
It almost feels like,
co-founder Claude.
no, it's more like you're a cuck because you're just there waiting for them to finish and you're
Yeah.
just sitting there
Just
watching a
watching.
screen,
Yeah, you're
just
like
watching. And you're like, "Oh, this is gonna take one more prompt. Oh, one more oh, you can do that too? Oh, let's go. Oh, let's go." And then you're like, "Ah, it's 5 a.m. I need to go sleep."
100%. Dude, Luca, I'm so curious. I see so many people that are like, okay, lawyers are rich. Let me throw up some like AI voice receptionists and try to sell it to lawyers, right?
Yeah,
There's so many people that are rushing into the industry. They're creating a service delivery that takes zero barrier to entry, and they're wondering why the business isn't working.
yeah,
How are you different? Because you still were able to have a business model that is able to get to significant figures a month within a very short time frame, right?
yeah.
So what are most people doing wrong here?
Well, I have to say I also joined a program for lead gen. So I did get a lot of, people who I was able to speak to. The course was okay, but it was more the people that I was able to speak in that community. I mean, some guys in the group there are doing like 10 to 20 million a year just doing lead gen. So,
And this is
you could
service delivery, right?
yeah, this is service delivery. So just specifically running media and selling pay per lead. So
I
there,
see.
a lot of them are doing different niches. There's quite a few doing lawyers. A lot of them are doing, for example, home services, life insurance. There's so many different niches that you can get into with it. And just seeing what's possible with some of the guys in the group and kind of just trying to get a hold of them, speak to them. They're all very friendly. They're all kind of there to help you. And it's just, peers that, it's just been great that I was able to learn from their mistakes and, they were able to share me some like contract agreements. So being in the right network, being in the right group of people for what you want to do, I think has probably been the most valuable thing that, that I've always kind of gone for, which is finding the right community and finding the right group. And sometimes you need to spend a couple thousand and, it could be a hit or a miss. So I was lucky with this group and they're all really, really great. And they're actually the proper marketers. So I learned a lot.
So so you didn't go chase like the whole craze of running into AI, then create your own new shiny business model and hope that it works. You took the time and the money, invested into a proven model, and then added your own
Correct.
twist and approach, and then beat them on
Correct. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
100%. That's
I think
good.
that's probably the best way to put it.
Beautiful. Okay. I guess anybody out there that's terrified of investing in themselves or any other people that are skeptical of working with Orza, anything like that, what would you say to
I would say just whip out your credit card. Just
them?
go for it. Because
I
no,
appreciate
but I'm
you. I didn't
serious.
tell him to say that, I
No, I'm
promise.
dead serious. Because what, you're just gonna leave it on the bank? It's gonna do nothing for you. If you fail, at least you learn something, and obviously do your due diligence and see, who you want to work with. And I think a lot of it comes down to like, having a good chat with you, understanding what you do, and if it makes sense for your business, I would say do it.
100%. Gotcha.
I think you
So
froze on me
last
there.
oh, you good?
I see you, but you're frozen. But I don't know if
Oh,
it's on my side. Just
it might be your side. I see me moving, but hopefully, if you can hear me, we should be good.
I can hear
I
you.
guess beautiful. Okay. Where can people find you? Do you have some sort of if somebody wants to send you a message, what does that look like?
Um, no, I have no social media. Nothing.
Okay.
I'm just
That you're
focused
locked in.
completely. I'm
You're
locked
locked
in,
in.
bro. No, like I stopped with one thing that I would definitely recommend people is
Mhm.
get off socials. This has like completely changed my life. I've been off socials now for around probably like almost a year now. Like I stopped around August last year, deleted the app, got off of it. Most of my socials that I had at the time was for music, so I still
Yeah.
had that. I mean, if you want to hit me up, it's MRNO artist. If you want to speak to me, you can hit me
Just the
up
name.
there. But
No, no.
Mr. No. But for the
Mr. No.
rest, I would say get off socials. You know, um, Spend a lot of time on yourself. That's whether that's developing your body because you need to be in balance with everything. Go to the gym,
Yeah.
take time for yourself, spend time with friends, spend time with family, spend time on the things that actually matter
Yeah.
instead of scrolling like 6 hours, you know, a day. And if you
Yeah.
think that spending, a couple grand on bettering yourself is expensive, look at the bill that you pay after a year of spending 6 hours a
Oh
day
my
brain rotting
gosh.
yourself on TikTok and then
That
try to
is
compare
so
the
true.
selves.
So true. And I have to admit some guilt here. I look at what I spent on Chipotle last year. I could have bought quite a few mentorships and coaches, man. I'm like,
Bruh,
you really it
serious.
puts it into perspective.
Ad spend,
Yeah.
like courses,
Everything. Yeah.
products,
Mhm.
digital products that can help you. Like there's been so many
Yeah.
templates and prompt packs and systems, like things that I bought that have leveled me up and given me an edge that now like I'm able to deploy things so quickly. I was just revamping actually the AI offer because I've had a lot of lawyers and people ask me like, "Hey, do you do also some of the AI stuff?" And I was like, "Yeah, actually, I think it's a time now to get back into it because I think it's gotten a lot more, it's the buzzword is
And you
there."
already have trust with them too. So it's a
Yeah,
simple and easy upsell.
exactly. And then I actually just started with it today. I created entire branding. So I've got the logo done. I finished the entire website. I created entire funnel. I created an entire backend integration with a custom demo that goes to my GHL. I've created the ads. I've pushed everything through Claude to post 9 carousels already, and I did all of that in like 5 hours. But you know,
Gosh.
if you would have asked me go do that 2 years ago or a year ago, I would have
You'd
been
be
like,
like,
"Oh, this is
what?
gonna be a project. Like, this is gonna be months. There's gonna be like 1, 2
Yeah.
months at least to get all this coordinated with different people." So if I didn't spend all that time, that money, that effort, honing in my own skills, buying those prompt packs, learning those different things, watching those YouTube videos, like now I'm just like bro, I'm a G. I can just do this all myself. Like, but it's so
I love it.
it's so free.
It
Like you
really
can just like
is. Yeah.
it's so freeing. Like you just don't have to wait for anyone. And in the end of the day, no one's gonna push as hard for quality and consistency as you are for your own business. That's like
Yeah.
number one. You can't expect someone who you pay a salary or you pay a fixed like, oh, like make me a website. Like he's gonna hit a he's gonna hit a wall. He's gonna be like, yeah, I can't go further than this. But you want like 10 more revisions. Like, yeah, good luck. You know, it's not gonna work. Like
100%.
and I'm super like I'm like really finicky on the details. So for me to be able to go in there and actually get it the way I want it, I would love to spend like another 50K for that. Like if I could
Yeah.
do it all over again and be able to do all of it myself and get to that point 100%. And now with AI it's possible. I mean,
Oh,
there's
100%.
so many new tools. I mean, when I started with it like 2, 3 years ago, 'cause I started on ChatGPT 3 when it first came out. Like I was on it from day one, from when they started launching it. And the amount of things you can do now if you start, in the right direction, within a month, you can change your skill set in a month. You can learn so much, like so much, like way more than I could ever learn 2 years ago even if I paid mentorships and courses and all that, because you just got AI. You
Yeah.
just need to make AI your ultimate assistant, and then you're
Oh,
you know you're gonna get really far.
100%, 100%. That's one of the things I noticed about you specifically, compared to a lot of other people inside, Orza. Um, there's a lot of people that get distracted by AI and use it in the wrong way. I think you are the most, if not the most effective person with AI.
Thank
It
you.
uses it towards high leverage things, right? And it's you're always sending me things that I had no idea about it and giving us some
Yeah,
juice sauce
yeah,
too. Which is
yeah,
I
yeah,
love it. I
yeah,
love it.
yeah. And to me,
Yeah.
sometimes I feel like I'm wasting my time with AI as well.
Mhm.
So I there is that trap as well for sure.
There
But
is.
I mean, as you're like what I was saying before, as long as you're doing things that will get you to a goal, or you're learning or implementing things that are getting you to a specific outcome, then I think everything that you put into it is going in the right direction. I mean, if you just want to go and make like viral meme videos with AI, I'm like, okay, go for it. But if you're not making a faceless empire, what's the point? You know?
No, 100%. I have a buddy that's, he has his uncle owns, like, a pharmacy or something, and running ads for peptides is extremely difficult, right? Because they
Yes,
cap you on
yes,
the
yes.
ad spend. He has his social media fully automated through Claude. He has, like,
Nice.
40K followers. All of his revenue comes from just automated Instagram posts with Claude, which blows my mind, blows my
Yeah.
mind. I used to be like, I'll be completely honest, I used to be the guy like, "Oh, this is a distraction, you just need to focus on the high leverage." It's like, it's starting to get to where, you have to admit, it's doing some crazy things, right?
Absolutely.
But,
Absolutely.
yeah. But, yeah, man, I wanna we have to do another one of these in the future.
For
So,
sure.
I guess, I wanna set, like, a metric on it. What figure a month what's the new milestone for us to do another one of these?
Half a mil a month in
Let's do it.
revenue.
Let's do it.
I think that should work.
500K
That's
a
only
month.
5 clients left,
Only
I would
5
say.
clients more. Let's do it. Let's do
Yeah.
it. And the
Half a
next one
year.
will be in real life. Next one
Yes,
will be in real life.
100%.
Has
Yes,
to be.
100%. In a nice
Has
villa
to be.
somewhere in, either South America, Thailand, somewhere nice.
Yeah. Thailand or Bali, man. I have to
I'm
go.
super down. Fuck
Let's do
Bali.
it.
Don't go Bali.
Really? Really?
So
Why?
underrated. So underrated.
Really?
So bad. So bad.
Why? Why? Is it just the
It's
Bali Bali or
nice.
what's up?
No, no, it's just I don't know. First of all, the food isn't as good as Thailand. The fruits aren't as good as Thailand. The beaches are nice, but doesn't compare to Thailand. And
Really?
the people are so much more friendly in Thailand than in Bali. In Bali, it's just overrun with tourism. Like Thailand can be as well if you go to the wrong places, but
Hmm.
Bali, like they're just so done with it. Like it's just over the top. The traffic is horrible. You can't even drive a motorcycle and have fun there. If you go to Phuket, Thailand, you have the roads that like they're all free. You can drive around. You feel fine, and just the vibe in general is just nicer. I would say it's in certain parts of Thailand you still have less tourism, and in Bali it's nice if you want to go and visit for the sites, but if you want to live somewhere, because I did 2 months Bali, I didn't really like it. They always say though, "Go travel the world. Go everywhere before you go to Thailand, because when you go to Thailand, you're gonna be sold everything else not gonna compare."
Really? I never
They
knew
say
that.
that. Yeah, they say that a lot.
Really?
So, if you're gonna go travel, go everywhere besides Thailand first, and then when you get to
Jesus.
Thailand, you're like, I don't wanna leave here. I wanna stay here." The culture, the vibe, everyone's Buddhist, so everyone is very, like, respectful. Everyone has, like, no judgment. You can be yourself, like, it's super great, and you have the fitness culture the same way that you do in Bali, so if you're looking for,
Really?
like, staying, yeah, of course, yeah, yeah. In Thailand, bro, with the Muay Thai and stuff, with the fighting,
That's true. They're
you can go
terrifying, though.
hard. You can
They're
go hard.
terrifying. They kick metal
Absolutely.
poles over and over again, man.
They
It's
go hard.
scary.
But you know what's the funniest thing? I had a
Uh,
coach there,
yeah.
and he would message me at like 2 a.m. and send me a video of him hitting a bong, like a brown bong, like a bamboo bong, and he's just like
The
spending
bamboo
money on
bong?
these chicken fights. Yeah, he was like a chicken fight guy. He has his own chicken, and his chicken was
Yeah.
like the best one in the island, and he would be making, bro, sometimes you would win like 20K, like euros. And then he would just come all like messed up, and he'd show me like all these pictures of him getting drunk. And then the next day he would school me like at 7 a.m. He'd be there. Like they're different over there. Like
Dude,
they're
I've
completely
heard that.
different. It's so
I've
funny.
seen videos of somebody, like, they're all the professional fighters are like, "This guy is different because he smokes cigarettes, he'll be blasted the night before, get 2 hours of sleep, come into the ring and beat your
I
ass,
still
and
beat
then
you
do it
a
again the
hundred
next
percent.
day."
100%. Yeah. The trainers are all like it. They're super fun. So yeah,
Yeah.
I mean there's a lot of good things to experience in Thailand. So I'd love to
Dude,
show
we're
you
going to
around that in
Thailand.
Thailand. Let's
We're
do
going
it.
to Thailand. I'm not fighting
100%.
anybody.
Let's go.
I live on the computer to stay away from that
Perfect.
stuff. So that's it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Dude, this has been
Perfect.
absolutely amazing.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
we'll make
Thank you.
another one in, Thailand. You have an amazing story to share, and
Thank you,
on the
man.
next one, we'll go even deeper on some cooler stuff. So I'm
Perfect.
excited about it.
I just wanna thank you for all the help, all the support,
Yeah.
all those, because 'cause we've had a few good sessions that, that really broke through for me, especially on multiple things. It wasn't only just on the outreach, you also helped me a lot with the sales, as well, kind of how to think about your buyer persona a lot more. Like when I read all of your, or sorry, when I went through all of your course material, it really made me look at things in a different way, which
Yeah,
really
what was the
helped me a
biggest
lot.
paradigm shift there? I'm curious.
I think it was um especially when, you really look at all of the words that people use, the language. Language is such an important thing. If you can speak the language of your buyer, and know their pain points, go a lot deeper on that. And it's something that I kind of did subconsciously with other businesses that I've built, but I never really like was like, hey, maybe I should focus on that first,
Makes sense.
understand my buyer, really research them, go on Reddit, use the Orza system that creates the entire report, read through that, use Claude, go really in depth on that, figure out where people have had issues, and then position yourself in a sales call to already address those concerns before they even come up as objections. Just shows that you understand them, you know where they're where what they've been through, and you stand out as someone who can actually help them and understand them than just someone who just wants to sell them something. And I think
Mm.
that's made the biggest difference in also the ability of actually closing people and actually working with them, because you actually build a connection with an understanding of what they're going through. And you actually want to help them, because a lot of the stories like in lead gen that I've heard, like I've spoken to some lawyers, man, like they've had, for example, one guy I spoke, he was like, yeah, but I've been burned before. Like, what's different with you guys? Like, I've bought 50K up front in leads, and I've received one lead. Like there's been some horrible
Oh
stories.
my
So
gosh.
yeah, so if you understand that and you know how to address that, and you can work with them on all those things, then it just makes it a lot more. You come across as a different type of relationship. It's something that,
That's so interesting because you haven't
yeah.
been running this for a crazy amount of time, yet you
No,
understand
no.
these guys better than they understand themselves.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. And also where it goes wrong and like the issues that they've had. I've also came across a couple of the issues myself as well with running ads. I mean, your ads account get blocked, yeah, and then you're screwed in my business. So there's been things that I've had to go across and hurdles I have to jump, and it's just about communication and actually building up good relationships with the people that you work with, being open, being transparent. If a problem happens, get to it right away. Don't put it under the rug. And, being forward with everything that you do, that really sets you apart. And even if, the world isn't perfect, like shit's gonna happen. It's just about how you handle it. And that's where
100%.
you kind of make or break your business and what people will remember, because they'll always forget what you said, but they'll never forget how you made them feel.
100%. That's a bar. That's a bar.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's something really interesting too. A lot of people, I think, they they don't realize the value of that latent condition report. By the way, if somebody's watching this, a latent conditions report is basically all of the psychological conditions of a market. So the words that they use in their head when they approach any problems, all their objections, things like that, right? Now, you can use this. I mean, I've seen the all the objection handling videos on your landing page. I'm guessing you made all those objection handling videos from the latent conditions report and also all the call to
100%.
actions,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I mean, I
So
grabbed
you
all of the
mhm,
the call scripts that I've had, and I
there you go.
just, took all of the ones that are out there, and I also came up with a couple that I knew myself, and that helps. That
100%.
helps a lot.
That's some free sauce for anybody. On your thank you page, take all the call scripts, take a latent conditions report if you have them, and then pre-handle the objections on your thank you page. That's huge. And then, I mean, you could use that report for everything, your outbound systems, your organic, literally everything. So that's
Yeah,
really
and I turned it into an MD system now, like
oh, that's cool.
a markdown file for my Claude agents. So
There you
every
go.
time that I'm writing copy, every time I'm making stuff, my agents know the latent conditions of my persona. So the copy comes out banging, everything comes out great. I don't have to change nothing. Like it's just perfect.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Some AI sauce here too. People need to pay for this video, man. Maybe we'll charge for it. There we go. I love it.
Uh,
All right. Well, yeah,
Perfect.
let's definitely do this again, Luca. This has been an amazing conversation.
Sounds good. Thank you so much for your time as well, Jesse. Thanks for all the help, and I look forward to working more with you as well. And
100%.
Thailand, we're gonna do some fun.
Thailand.
I'm gonna whack your ass in Thailand with some.
Sure. I believe you, Ashley. I'm terrible at fighting, man. Terrible.
No
Yo, let's
worries.
do
We'll
it,
get
man.
you up to speed.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Cool.